Rock, and I work at FCTG, an Australian company. And in our team, we've been having to use more and more GraphQL APIs. And for months, it was a nightmare. We had to have the queries in plain strings or using GraphQL Builder, which is not really a good way to see what your GraphQL query is doing or trying to do. And you don't have any safety net. If you deploy a wrong query, you're just going to fail at runtime, right, in production or in testing. And I was looking at JavaScript, and they have a lot of great toolings around this. And I was jealous, and I don't like to be jealous of JavaScript. So basically, I just built a library, GraphQL query, which for now you can validate parts, format GraphQL query, and more things. How does it look? Basically, the main thing is you have a sigil, which the base one will just parse and validate your query at compile time. And if you have something wrong, like here, you have an unused variable, it will just ping you a warning. It's not going to fail the compilation, at least for now, but it will warn you, which is great. And a query is nothing without a schema, right? So you can actually declare a schema with a path or your own AppSync schema, which is great for testing. And if you have an schema, you can use a query with that schema. And now you are not only going to validate the query, you are going to validate it against that schema. So if you are trying to use a query that doesn't exist, a field or a type which is wrong, you're going to get warned. And it's great because some of our customers like to change the API sometimes, and I don't like they change the API and suddenly production breaks because the query is failing. And since 2 days ago, you can specify the schemas as a remote schemas, and you can add authentication and whatever you need to the request. And with 2 mixed tasks, you can fetch the schemas, your remote schemas, and check them, which is great for the CI. So you can run it every day and know if your schema is outdated and you need to update if you want. And there is more features. For example, fragments. You can declare fragments and then use them in your queries or mutations or whatever. And you use them in HTTP really easy. You just do JSON and put the query, and you can add variables to the document that the sigil returns. And more things. There is a mixed format plugin, so the GQL sigil and GraphQL files will be formatted automatically. You have a GQL from file. If you have really long query, you just write it in a file and load it with that macro, and we'll validate it in compile time too. A GQL macro, which is different because in the sigil you can't have dynamic things, but with the GQL macro you can, and it's great for testing. You can dynamically generate the queries for testing, for example. And support for federation, and it uses the Apollo official Rust library to have the last version of GraphQL features. And yeah, now we just write, validate, and ship it, and no worry about runtime things. And that's it. If you have to use GraphQL, please give it a try, and feel free to talk to me.